What's going to be? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast One So Magazine describes as the one that initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists. Long fans cover the creative workflow of their favorite musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are also sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your entire bill with code CPPOD at darkfusionsystems.com. Links in the description of the podcast below. We are ranked the 21st best podcast of all time on millionpodcast.com when it comes to metal music. And yeah, after this episode, I'm hoping we get a couple more spots up there because, this is a good one. Let's go to it. Let's go to our feature presentation. This band released 2 great albums in the early 2010s, and then they were gone. They came back 2 years ago, and we had them on the podcast. Now with a brand new album coming out on August 22nd, they're back. But this time, we got Michael and Hance from Woe Is Me on the podcast. Their brand new album, Daybreak, comes out on August 22nd. We not only talk about what it was like making music so long apart to really discover what their sound is going to be now and how they figured that out, but also the detail they went into some of this music with songs like Devil in My Head and Here's to Me, but we give us a little preview of what else is to come on the record as well when I asked them what their favorite songs yet to be released are. And let me tell you, when I asked that question after the answer, I'm more excited for this album than ever. And we're going to get you right there with us. Are you guys ready for this one? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. I had the pleasure of bringing this band on the podcast back in 2023, right when the first single, Ghost, came back out, and it was like their first song, and I think it was something like 12 years, which was absolutely nuts. And now that there is a brand new album coming out on August 22nd, I am more than excited to be able to talk to them again, because not only have I been able to see the band twice, but whenever I get a chance to see this band on a bill, I'm like, I have to go to that show because something's going to just click. Like, this is a band you need to see live because there is something there that just, oh my God, it just brings the energy and it's absolutely nuts. And I cannot wait to get to see him again, especially this year at Louder Than Life with a brand new album fully out. The album is called Daybreak, coming out on August 22nd. So please welcome Hance and Mike from Woe Is Me to the Chord Progression Podcast. So, gentlemen, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
Thank you guys for being on, taking the time today. The first album in, 14 years almost, or 13 years coming out. So, it's right here. It's almost here. How you guys feeling right now?
Pretty surreal. So I actually, to touch on that, I had to do a quote the other day about the album just for like press and stuff. And in the quote, I even say like at one point, this was never even a thought. Like a few years ago, even right when we first got back together, an album probably really wasn't even a thought. Like 5-6 years ago, if you told me that Woe Is Me was going to put out another album, I would have said you're out of your mind. The fact that there is a new Woe Is Me album coming out into the world is pretty insane. It's a pretty unreal thing that I just would have never thought that would have happened. So,
dude, yeah. To touch on like what you said, Michael, a second ago about like 5 or 6 years ago. If you would have said there's going to be another Woe Is Me album, I think I'd take it a step further to be like, Woe Is Me is going to get back together. Like, so to go from the not even having that in the cards to, hey, we have an album coming out, it's just kind of, I think you said surreal, but I don't know if there's another way to describe it. It's insane.
I think surreal might be the perfect word for it, because thinking about it from just the fans' perspective, especially for the people that have been around since the band released the first albums back in the early 2010s, it was something where all of a sudden it was just, it was there, it was hot, and people knew it, and all of a sudden then the band was broken up, we get to the pandemic, and it's kind of like we're starting to see a resurgence in metal music, and we're still seeing it heavily today. And if you're a fan of Woe Is Me, it's like, well, it's been so long since anything had come out, so long since anything had been there. Heck, you would have brought this up in 2021 or 2022 to any fan, and they probably would have laughed and said, yeah, right, that's not happening. So surreal is definitely the perfect word for it. And not only that, but then not having songs come out, having people get into them, and then seeing you guys play shows and seeing these shows get packed out with people absolutely energized to the nines, going bonkers in the pit, me being one of them on multiple occasions. It just shows that, it's not only surreal, but also incredible that this is still going on and has come back after so many years.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And it's kind of crazy because after we got like the artwork and everything settled in and like dialed in and kind of like the album name and all that stuff, like just seeing it as a whole, I was just like, I cannot, it's just, even me being in the band, like, I'm just like, I cannot believe there's a Woe Is Me album coming out. Like, this is wild because, 5 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, that band's dead and gone. Not happening,
I mean, I remember I've told people, like several years ago, people would just ask, like, what are the chances of What Was Me getting back together? I'd be like, none, probably.
And in fact, I'll take it a step further from Hance. And if you would have told me that Woe Was Me was getting back together, I probably would have taken a chair and slapped it upside your head.
Yeah, honestly, because there was just a point in time where I was just not a chance. Clearly things worked out different than what we thought they would in that regard. And so, yeah, I guess in just a few short weeks, we're looking at the third Woe Is Me album being released. It just, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. We're excited. And also kind of just still, I still don't think it's fully hit me yet. I don't know about you, Michael, but I just,
yeah,
it
has, but it's like, well, I guess we can go ahead and say this, but I guess you're the first to hear, but so you'll be the first to hear, but like the album's not even out yet, and we've already started working on new music, and we're just like for me, I guess at least I don't know where Hance is, but like for me, it's like we got this album out, and we're so proud of it, and we're so excited about these songs, and it's just crazy that we even have an album coming out. But I'm already like in the mindset of like, I want to do better. I want to do better. I want to ready to write. I'm ready to write more. Let's go back to the drawing board. Like these songs are going to come out, and I'm already like, I think I'm in the mindset of like, I think I can top that. I think I can get better because like I feel like we're just on a roll now. Now that we've dove back into the writing process, the recording process. Like for me, I'm just like, let's keep it going. Like I want to top this album. Like already, it's not even out yet.
Yeah, totally. I think the flow state that we got in with the writing for this album, like me and Michael, I'm talking like specifically for lyrics and vocals, but I guess it's just as a whole. But like, I mean, one of the most how do I put this? One of the most rewarding experiences when it comes to songwriting that I've had. And I'm kind of like on the same page as Michael, like, yeah, that was sick, but like, let's push it further, And so I don't know, man. It's pretty insane to think about, but yeah, so we're already getting started on the next chapter, and this one's not even out yet.
We got our mojo back.
That's right. Yeah.
You're like Austin Powers at the end of the second movie where he got his mojo back and he's just fully flowing. Do I make you feel Randy, baby? I mean, you never know. We're going to see the Woe Is Me album on a spinning heart bed on a 747 for some kind of promo just because of that. But what stands out as incredible is not only the fact that there's more new music already being worked on with Daybreak releasing literally, at the time we release is just days away. But the fact of the matter that you're still working on new music and you're trying to top what you did on Daybreak, that stands to reason that not only is the idea of what this is and the energy of what this is so strong as you want to release this, but the motivation to do this and do this again after such a long period of time, thinking that, Woe Is Me is never coming back. And if you brought that up 5 years ago, Mike would have hit you in the head with a number of chair shots like The Rock on Mick Foley so long ago. But that's not the case. You guys are making me more excited than ever because I've been kind of waiting for some of this for the last couple of years. I'm like, I'm seeing the comeback come. When is there going to be a full album? When are we going to get something that's going to fully feel like, holy shit, this is back and it's here? And now there's going to be even more coming. Guys, just ride the motherfucking wave and keep doing this. Keep seeing what happens, because the more art, the more Woe Is Me music we get out there, my God, the better off this world's going to be.
Yeah, I think that well, kind of going back to like when we first came back, like when we were writing Ghost and everything, we were still trying to find our like, okay, well, what are we gonna sound like now? Like we don't want to sound like, we want to like definitely like appease the core fans and like the fans that were there back in 2009, 2010, sure, but like this is a fresh start, so we're like, where do we even start with writing? We don't know. So Ghost was kind of, I feel like, a segue. Like it was, I don't want to say it was a safe song, but like, because I love that song. I think that song's kind of underrated in my opinion. But like I think it was a little bit safe, you could say, and I think it was I think it was just like kind of like a segue into like what we wanted to do now, and it took a little bit to like get back into the writing process, because like we hadn't wrote together in years. It's been so long since we actually got in a room together and actually wrote together. So I feel like it took a little bit, but now that we're in that groove and now that we've kind of got that momentum back, I feel like now it's like the train's going.
Totally. And it's, not to say like, we're gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off. But I mean, hey, like we're in it as long as we can keep going. Because like I think we've hit a point where we've found a way to write that not only makes us happy, but really, really works so well. We all write so well together, and why stop with this album? Um, and I do, kind of going back to touch on Ghost. It was kind of a segue, and it's one of those things too, to where it's like the amount of like support there was for the first Woe Is Me album, obviously incredible record. There's no way we could ever remake that record. You know what I mean? I think that the same can be said for, like legacy bands that have, a couple of huge first albums, and then it's like, um, obviously people love and appreciate those. And I guess it's not like, how can we top that original first album, but how can we, you know, give those older listeners that have been here since the beginning something to still appreciate, while also trying to figure out, like you said, like what do we want to, not necessarily what do we want to sound like, but like
Where we are in our lives.
right, right. What is appealing to us,
Like we want
and
to like make those OG fans happy, but like
right,
we enjoy the songs when we're playing them.
right,
So there's
right,
that line you kind of gotta ride, and it's like, yeah, like we're never gonna remake Numbers, and truthfully, like we probably will never ever sound like that ever again. Like
yeah,
that's an album that just, it's like I wouldn't even want to, not because like, oh, I think like we're in a, not in like an asshole way, but like more so just like, it's like that album just needs to just stay what it is. Just, that album doesn't need to be touched. It doesn't need to be remade. It does. It's like it's there. It's served its purpose. It's still serving its purpose. And I don't want to. I don't even want to mess with it. Like why would we? Like it's always going to be there. you know, like I just don't want to screw up such a good thing. And, you know, but also like we're in completely different places in our lives. Like our styles have changed, like musically, what we listen to, what inspires us, what gets us going. All of these things are a factor in like where we're at and where Daybreak is, you know?
Yep.
So
Yeah, there's definitely a massive changeover from when Numbers came out to where you guys are now, even from just think about that 10-year layoff. And then when Ghost came out, I can see where people might think it's a safer song, but it's definitely a song where it's like the band's been out for 10 years. They're trying, you guys got to figure out exactly when it comes to writing what you want to do, what your sound is going to be, because over the course of that time, lives change, perspectives change, ideas change, motivations change. Your tastes end up evolving into something different. So you want to be able to play and write something that really connects with you, that you're going to want to go up on stage and play every single night, because you're not going to want to absolutely hate playing Numbers all the time, even though that's what some of the OG fans want. And I do absolutely agree with you, Mike, when it comes to leaving Numbers as is, because that was such a unique thing and such a unique point in time, especially for a debut album, because who comes out with a debut album that has that much power and connects so heavily with so many people right away? Not many bands get that opportunity or ever have that happen. But if you try and constantly recreate that over and over again, then it's going to be like, oh, they just try to do exactly what they did there every single time. And it just kind of got watered down as time went on. Now that you guys are, I'll say older because Numbers came out back in 2010. We're looking in 2025 right now. It's a 15-year changeover, but there's a different idea of what you guys want to do with music. There's a different way you want to connect with it. And you listen to the singles that are out right now. You listen to Here's to Me. Yeah, that one definitely has a little bit more of that older flavor to it. But then all of a sudden you get to Devil in My Head and it's just like, what the heck is this? Like, this is definitely different. The closer changes it up too in a different way. And it makes you think, okay, what else are you guys going to try throughout the rest of the album? What are you going to try throughout the rest of this time frame? Because the world is open to you sonically. You got those first couple of singles out. You figured out exactly where you wanted to be in the writing process for this, where your inspirations and idea to create this album lied. Now you went out and you did it, and we still have so much left to discover on it while you guys are still working on more new music as we speak.
exactly. And that's another thing, like is that there's a lot of, I mean, whether it's a good thing or not, we still try to read the comments and try to respond to people, engage as much as we can. But like, you know, a lot of people are like, I've seen a lot of like people that are like, God, they're going to release the whole album before it's out. Like, what's with all these singles? And it's like, okay, I get that perspective. I get that. Cause I personally hate when bands release 8 out of the 10 songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why did you release 8 out of 10? There's only 10 songs now. I don't get it. Like, we heard it already. Like, the album comes out, but I get that. But there's only 4 singles. There's only 4 singles before the album's out. And then you have the rest of the entire album. So, you know, like, we didn't even release half the album. You know, like, so, and that's another thing is like a lot of people have, you know, said, of course, and we knew going into this, like, hey, we're probably going to get some hell from people like saying, oh, they went soft, they went light, but it's like, just wait till you hear the rest of the album. Just wait till you hear
yeah.
Like, it's really cool. And it's if you want heavy, there's heavy in there for you. But to touch on, sorry, I'm not going to try to ramble, but like to touch on like how you said, like, we were talking about like Numbers and like going back to that and like trying to appease those original fans. If you listen to this album, if you really listen to what's being played, to like what's going on in this album, yes, it's all new, it's all fresh, it's a different sound for Woe Is Me, but we have so many Easter eggs in this album from Numbers. Like, we do some Numbers shit in this album. So if you really listen, if you really like pay attention, like, we snuck some stuff in there like that, you know, like, and if all you hear is just like a different sound, then like you're not listening. You know, you're not really hearing what we're playing, what we're doing. Like, because we snuck some stuff in there that we hope that like people, one, will catch on, and number 2, people will appreciate, you know.
Definitely.
I was saying, I think over time, more people are going to end up catching on to that and appreciating it beyond what it is, because there's so much more left of the album to come out. And kind of going to one specifically, which is going to be Devil in My Head, because right when you listen to it and that chorus hits right at the beginning, it does kind of have that country flow where I'm like, people should be line dancing to this. Why is this in here? And I'm not a big fan of country music, so immediately I'm like, hold up, what is going on here? Why is this a thing? But then you get to the verse, you see the heavier portion come in, you see how the idea of the song and the meaning of the song kind of ties into the overall flow of that chorus, and then what happens towards the outro with the na-na-nas that hit in there, and I'm thinking, why is this so damn catchy, but why does this all make sense, and why does this all connect? Yes, of course, you probably got some hell on it, like, oh my god, they went country, what the fuck, but all of a sudden it's just, no, this actually makes sense as a whole entire song. All you got to do is just take a sit down, relax, put on your headphones, and just listen to the whole song. That's all you got to do. And you're going to end up picking out pieces that just really attach to you in one way or another. Hell, I was listening to it while I was lifting this morning. I'm like, why am I listening to a song like this when normally I'm listening to stuff like Knock Loose and Alpha Wolf and Throne and Fox Lake? I don't know, but this is just working right now, so I'm enjoying this. But going into that kind of realm, seeing where the expanded idea of where Woe Is Me can really go, that song, I think, perfectly amplifies not only what is possible, but what more is still left to come when the album fully releases.
Well, yeah, well, like,
Totally.
specifically that chorus, like, and I can let Hance kind of talk more about this chorus, because I feel like this song was, like, kind of for him and everything, and like he can touch on like the personal stuff and lyrically and everything, but like if you take, I do want to say real quick, if you take out the like twang in this song, if you take out the whatever country aspects there are, and you put this chorus next to like a Taking Back Sunday chorus, because there's and Hans can like touch on this more and speak on it, but like we basically Hance wrote a chorus idea, like a melody, and then I had a melody idea, and we basically, the producer was like, why don't you just do both? And we're just like, what do you mean? And so those choruses, the way they intertwine and overlap, it's very reminiscent of like old like Taking Back Sunday, because if the way they intertwine, it's like the devil in my mind is telling me, and then the over that is that the I am better than who, with the main vocal going under that. And if you take out those the like country aspect of it, like you can kind of begin to like break open the song entirely and realize what's going on here. But I feel like people just have that just surface level, like just listening, and they're like, oh, it's country. And I'm like, no, dissect the song and listen to like what's going on, because there's definitely some like old like Taking Back Sunday chorus vibes going on in there. But yeah, Hans can like kind of talk more about it if he wants. And
Yeah, I mean, so for that song specifically, and like just to kind of break down the chorus, like, I think a lot of people were surprised, like, because some of the guitar work in Here's to Me, like you can hear like a little bit of art, like the country influence that um was on that song. Devil in My Mind, and I think just in general on this album, um, and I knew we were gonna get some comments that were like, "Oh, country, huh?" Like, and yeah, there's definitely some country influence, but I think one of the biggest things is like on all of our previous releases, I kind of like made it a point to not sound the way that I talk. You know what I mean? Like, because we're from Georgia, and so like on all of our previous recordings, I kind of made it a point to not have the Southern accent so heavy in the music. And on this record, I just didn't care. I was like, I'm just gonna sing the way that I would sing and not worry about trying to, hide the accent or whatever. And so that in combination with the guitar work, and people are like, this is country, it's yeah, but it's not like I sing it like the devil in my mind. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really not that that country. You know what I mean? Like totally, yeah, there's definitely country influence, but I think it was a big shock for people to hear that. But honestly, like Michael was saying, like the counter melody going beneath like the main melody, when we had those two different ideas in the studio, um, I mean, especially for that chorus, we were thinking like, hey, that's kind of like Taking Back Sunday, the A and B stuff, right? Um, but when you just take the vocals by themselves, it's like we were thinking Taking Back Sunday and like all that. But I mean, and I think we posted a video of like the isolated vocals. Forget about the fact that I have a southern accent and just like listen to the melodies. To me is more reminiscent of like a pop song,
Mm-hmm.
versus country. Um Pop punk maybe, I don't know. But um
It's just
I
like,
don't
I just think the way they're intertwined is just so really cool. It's so cool, and they just
right.
naturally came together so nicely because the melody Hance had and the melody I had were very different, but when we meshed them, it's like it just happened so naturally, and it just was like it was so nice that those counter melodies are just so cool, and I don't know, I just think they came together. It's just so cool, and it's like when you really look at that and listen to, I just want people to like hear that, like understand those,
Yeah,
not just hear like, oh, this is country, you know?
right. Just pick it apart a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. Like not don't just, you know, listen through once and form an opinion. Like I think it really is important, and like I want to tell everybody that listens to the album, you know, listen to it with intention, like intentionally. And I think you will hear things and discover things that are not just, I hate to keep saying surface level, but you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Like
Yep.
it's way more complex. Each song individually for different reasons and because of different things. Um, but I think that if you just dig a little bit deeper into these songs, you'll see things that stand out, that are in a lot of the songs that tribute to older stuff, and then a lot of it that is just kind of like what made sense to us and how we were feeling at the time, and the way those things come together just kind of encompasses, you know, the way that this record sounds, like what our sound is. Because I don't think we went into this record with a goal like we want to sound like this. That was my cat. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
um, we didn't. I don't think we went in with a goal like we're going to sound like this and this and this. We just kind of did what we what kind of came natural,
Yeah.
and
We just wanted to write pretty, and that's another thing that Woe Is Me just never really did in the past, was major, like big standout, like repeating choruses.
right.
So we wanted to, now that we had a new album, like we're like, why don't we do that? Why don't we have the opportunity to have standout repeating choruses, things that are, we can write hooks that are going to get stuck in people's heads, so let's do that.
Yep.
Yeah, and you absolutely did that with Devil in My Head, and even on the other singles too that are out, you did the repeating choruses, but kind of going back to what you did on the previous album where you never really had that, you didn't drive those repeating choruses down everyone's throat. It's like you repeated them maybe like you had them twice throughout these songs, and really that was it so far from the singles, which does kind of bring back a little bit more of that old style, but also shows where you guys are and kind of progressing with the sound that Woe Is Me is going to have and continue to evolve into as you guys make more new music. With Devil in My Head, though, just using that as the example perfectly for this one, because when I first heard it immediately, I kept it on the surface level, and I don't really ever do that, but I heard the little country part of the opening. I'm like, oh man, we'll see where this ends up going. But being able to crack that egg and go a little bit deeper into it and just not look at like what the shell of the song was, going to that twang of the guitar, I'm like, wait a minute, these guys are from Georgia, so that does make sense. Plus, if you go back to the song I told you once, it does have that absolute twanging guitar intro, so you're thinking, okay, now this actually kind of has that connective piece. You could see where it was put in before and seeing it more evolved now, seeing where these guys are. And the twanging guitar ends up transitioning very well between the one melody, Mike, that you had and the melody that Hance had, and just connecting the two pieces together in the overall part of the song. That's why after, one listen, you're kind of listening to it again and again. Even if you're really averse to country, you're like, who cares? This song is just a good ass song, and you're starting to see more of the actual layers underneath it. So when you get to other songs on this album, when you listen to Here's to Me, you see more of the layers as you're starting to go in there. The Closer is a perfect example of a single where it might seem like at first like, wait, this is a Woe Is Me song, but then you start to layer it back and you think, oh yeah, this makes a lot of sense as a potential Woe Is Me song going forward. And it shows once again that there is so much more left to be discovered on this sound, whether it's the songs that you're yet to be released on this album, which come out on August 22nd once again, or what's even more exciting is the songs that you still have left. Because I can assume there's going to be some songs that have a good amount of callbacks to some of the older stuff you did on this album, but at the same time are going to be so evolved and so into a different capacity where it's going to be kind of like those Easter eggs you're talking about. You're going to see it there. You're going to see the call outs there, but they're going to go in a different direction because it's not the band is different, but again, we're dealing with a whole different time period in life and a whole different mindset around writing music. Let it fly, let it happen, and let's see where it goes because you never know. This could be the absolute dawning of the second life of Woe Is Me, which I'm pretty sure it is.
Hopefully so. Yeah. Hopefully so. Yeah.
Yep.
I would say I'm almost certain it is because since the comeback really started in 2023, again, that's been 2 years, I've had the chance to see you guys play live twice at this point, and both times it seemed like the absolute energy was there. People were absolutely into it, even with one of them being the ill-fated Blue Ridge Rock Fest of 2023. I'll still never forgive them for stopping your set because those first 4 songs before they said it was too windy, my God, was that crowd just so amped up. It was like something I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Like, and what's funny is that like we those like the video monitors like were like crashing into like the stage, and but it was cool because they let us come back and play like a couple more songs, which was nice. So yeah. At least we got to kind of finish our set, but
yeah, it was definitely one of those things, because our front of house engineer, we can hear him. He's like, guys, we have to stop playing. And I was like, no, like, because we, when we first got to Blue Ridge, I woke up at like 6 a.m. when the bus kind of stopped, and I'm looking at Twitter and seeing all these posts about Blue Ridge, like it was a disaster. They had to stop the show. And I'm like, oh my God. And then so everything's perfect up until our set. And of course, the wind picked up and everything. But
I guess didn't it like flooded the day before or something?
It did.
It was like a hailstorm.
There was no food because the whole catering tent had flooded and you couldn't even go in there. And so I remember that whole day, it's like I can like power through shit. It is what it is. But like the whole day I was like so hungry because there was no food. And then I was like, whatever. All right, I'm going to go buy something. And I think I bought like 2 slices of pizza for it was like $22 or something. And I was just like, okay, this is crazy.
That I think a couple positive takeaways, which not everybody can say, is that even though our set got stopped, we did get to come back and finish it. And we also played the only full day of Blue Ridge 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember when they stopped your set, everyone was so pissed. We could see the video screens on the side stage crashing into the side because of the wind, but we were pissed up top because we're like, we can hear Knocked Loose still playing on the main fucking stage down the hill. Yeah. Why are they not going on? And a lot of us that were in the pit at the moment were getting really antsy due to the fact that like I said, those first 4 songs before they they shut down the set, the energy was there. It was unbelievable. It was nuts. And we were all there amped up waiting to see you guys and then see Electric Callboy right after. It was like the perfect run. And then seeing you guys be able to come back out, I was talking to people right after as we were waiting for Electric Callboy, and it was like, yeah, we want to see more Woe Is Me. We want to see what happens when they come back. And I guess you guys played last year at the West Chicago Social Club, and it was the exact same type of energy throughout the entirety of that show. Everyone was into it. Everyone was sold on the band. Everyone was sold on what was going on. The hits in the pit were hard, and man, that was one of my favorite shows the entire year last year. And I went to like 53 of shows total. Yeah, I'm waiting for my next chance to see you guys play live, and that's gonna come in about a month at Louder Than Life. So not much longer to wait.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, the Louder. Yeah, we've never played Louder Than Live. We did Blue Ridge and then Incarceration, but like never done Louder Than Live. So I'm excited for that. And the lineup is sick. It's great. So,
and they just changed the layout too to add more space. There's a stage in a freaking amusement park now. It's just gonna be absolutely nuts. They added like 12 more bands, and I'm just sitting here thinking, my God, how early am I gonna have to wake up for this? How early am I have to get to the parking lot? And then how am I gonna be able to deal with every single one of these like overlapping artists? Because there's just so many I want to see. But there's like a couple that I circle like, okay, you're not messing with me on these, and Woe Is Me is one of them.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Well, I'm honored.
Yes.
I'm not excited for that.
I'll say I'm not missing out on that one, guys. You'll see some. I don't know what exactly I'll look like, but if you see a crazy dude in the pit running around in a Milwaukee Brewers hat, you'll know it's me.
That works. Deal.
Well, I'll say, going back to the album, though, there is one question, especially with brand new albums, that I love asking. And I could be like, oh, what's your favorite song on the album? But you guys have put your blood, sweat, and tears into this. And I don't want to ask you to make a choice like that, like picking your favorite child. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to go about it in a different direction. So there are 11 songs on the album, 4 released as singles. Let's take those off the table because everyone has had a chance to hear those. But on release day, there's going to be 7 songs that people get to hear for the first time. I'm not going to ask you what's your favorite, but out of the unreleased tracks, which is the song that you're most excited for people to hear and why?
Ooh,
I don't know. That's hard. That's God. That's genuinely tough. Because it's like we could go like the heavy route, like we could go like I don't know, like I could easily pick like a heavy one, but it's like, so I guess I'll just go ahead and say like there's what Hance, there's like, is there 3 or 4? There's 3 really heavy ones.
Yeah.
There's
extremely
3
heavy
that are really just straight heavy. And then there's one like middle of the road, kind of like Here's to Me, like that, like middle of the road, like singing, screaming. And then there's one that's by far the lightest song on the album. There's no screaming at all, like all singing. And that's the lightest song on the album by far, but like, which is really cool because it shows like such a completely different side of Woe Is Me. And I almost want to say that one, but I don't know. Like I don't. Hey, do you have one? I don't.
See, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, because I mean, I can't tell you at this point how many times I've listened to the record like start to finish, and the one you're talking about, like the lighter one, sticks out to me in a big way. But there's also like there's one specific heavy one that I'm just like, man, like it just rips, dude. It just rips. And so
House or
do what? Yeah. Yeah.
Hell House. Yeah. Hell House turned out cool. Like, I think that's one song that like for the whole duration of the writing process, that was probably my least favorite. We got to the end of it.
Yeah.
We got to the end of it and we finished it. And I went back and I was like, damn, this song's cool. I was like, God, like this song is really cool. And it turned into one of my favorite out of like all the heavy ones. Like that's up there with one of my favorite ones. Hell House, I would say, yeah, maybe like Hell House or the lightest song is Bedtime Stories. Like that's the lightest song on the album. I would say, yeah, maybe like between those two, maybe like Hell House or Bedtime Stories.
That's kind of where I'm at with the two. Like, because they're two completely like
Yeah.
different ends of the spectrum, like you said. Which I guess we can go ahead and like say, one of the songs we're talking about has no singing, and then the other one has no screaming at all. So, you know,
But yeah, so
we
complete
will
spectrums. Like Hance screams on
right.
Hell.
That's
I sing on Bedtime Stories. So
right.
like, yeah, complete ends of the spectrum. But yeah, I would pick those two. But then it's like, God, I'm just gonna go off on a damn tangent. But like, then you have like Borrowed Time. That's the one that's like the more middle of the road. And that one is by far probably one of the saddest songs I think we've ever written.
Oh yeah. That one, I mean, it's
Borrowed Times. It's yeah. If you don't cry during that song, something's wrong with you.
yeah. It's a gut punch type song, man. It's
Yeah.
it's heavy, and not heavy like musically, like lyrically.
Yeah,
And
there's what's left in the album. There's a lot of variety, you know.
totally.
That's pretty much what I got from that answer. Was there's just so much variety left to go. And I absolutely loved watching you, Mike, just wrestle with how to answer this question, because by watching you having to wrestle with, do I go with like one of these three that are just heavy? Do I go with one that's middle? Do I go with the lightest one on the record? I don't know. All I'm thinking about is, wait, which songs are we talking about here? What the hell are we going to get? And why have we not heard this now? Like, can we get this now? I'm not sure how much longer we can wait. I'm not sure how much longer I can wait, to be honest with you. Because if you're going to be picking songs that like you're most excited for people to hear, one being the lightest one, the one that's going to just be a completely different feel, but then also just bookending it with one of the heaviest ones that are possibly could be written for a Woe Is Me song, it's like, holy shit, we're going to really still see the absolute different ends of the spectrum that Woe Is Me is able to hit on Daybreak, and we're going to see even further what is going to become next, especially as you guys continue to write more new music. It's just going to be something where I still think that when it comes to the singles, we've just gotten that taste, and then the rest of the album's going to show us so much more. But you guys are saying that, well, we're going to see so much more, but there are so many other layers and so many other emotional complexities that you're going to feel going through this, whether it's going to be that gut punch in Borrowed Time, the absolute heaviness of Hell House, or Bedtime Stories, which might make you feel insanely emotional and just really connect you back to something that maybe you weren't expecting, but it could be something you really need to connect back with over time.
And that's to kind of touch on like, the singles and why we.
Mike, I kind of lost your audio there for a little bit.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Sorry. Yeah. So going back to like the singles and like why we released like the ones we did, and like specifically Here's to Me, like releasing that one first. I just feel like that. So everything in Here's to Me is kind of like basically sums up the entire album. Like you have there's a little bit of everything in that song, and that's why we wanted to come out with that first. And that, yeah, like essentially that'd be the first single, because this is kind of just like a preview of what the album is gonna kind of be.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense, because listening to Here's to Me and then just seeing where the rest of the singles have gone, you can see a lot of pieces of like, okay, this kind of had this little bit of Here's to Me in there. This had this little bit of it. And we're going to see a lot of them. So we're going to get that, like, it's like the sampler platter song of the entire album. We're going to, but also at the same time, it also relates, like with Here's to Me, it relates back to a good number of things that you guys have done in the past too. So that is kind of like the absolute connective song from this album, from your past, and everything in between. I'm not going to say it's the quintessential song because there's going to be many others that come along, and there's definitely fan favorites that are in there too that I don't want to step on. But at the same time, I think that's the perfect song to open up the album too, especially from a singles perspective. It gives us that connective feeling back to what Woe Is Me was, and it gives us a look into what Woe Is Me is now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better.
Well, you guys have talked about not only a lot on Daybreak and more new music still in the works that's going to be coming out at who knows when, but there's going to be more coming out. Beyond that, though, what else is next for Woe Is Me? What else do you guys got planned for in the future, especially as you wrap up 2025 going into 2026?
We're wanting to obviously play more shows. Like, that's the thing. And we've talked about this a few times, like publicly, but like we all have full-time jobs. We all work like all day, every day, which is part of the reason why it took a little bit for the album to get done, because we're working Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we're going to the studio, so it's just it's been nonstop for like a year straight, just working, 50 hours a week, and then going to the studio on Saturday and Sunday, then right back into work. So that's why it kind of like took a while for the album to kind of come together. But yeah, we want to play these songs for people. We want to get in front of people. We want to play more shows and get out there, we just, when the right tour comes along, when that time comes, and we can actually, we feel good about quitting our jobs. Because there is stability in a job. So when that time comes, we're all for it.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's the thing, is we all want to be out playing shows. It's just a matter of like, we're working out right now how to make that make sense for us, so that we don't come back and, lose our houses. And like, no, just like you said, Michael, just trying to figure out how to create the right opportunities for us to do that, and also being open to accepting an offer on a tour, and so just trying to work out the logistics of that, because that's the goal. Like you said, is we want to play these songs for people. We want to get out to more places, because really we've just done like regional stuff. Obviously we played Atlanta. We've done festival. Incarceration was Ohio. We went up to Blue Ridge. We did one festival up in the Northeast and played some stuff around like New York and stuff like that. We've gone to Texas, but everywhere else is still places like throughout the US, like literally everywhere else besides those places we haven't been, right? We did Florida. I mean, I think I mentioned Southeast, but yeah, I mean, other than continuing to work on music, getting this album out, like we want to get in front of people and play these songs.
I do want to thank you guys for giving us the reality of the situation, because being out for something, of course you got full-time jobs, of course you're working as much as possible, and when it comes to music and the music industry, it's definitely volatile when it comes to, is it going to be stable or not? And you don't want to lose your houses. You don't want to lose what you've already built up, and you want to see how it's going to work out over the course of time. So it makes sense to be a little bit more hesitant to try and figure out exactly what's going to work for you guys in the future. I have seen some of those like shows in Atlanta pop up, and I'm kind of jealous of my friends who live in Atlanta, who we always go to festivals with. I'm like, you guys always get to see Woe Is Me whenever you get like a chance to see a show, because they're right there, and I've only gotten to see them twice. I mean, that's still more than a lot of other people, but I'm like, I need more of it, and I'm hoping to get more soon. Especially, I'm just gonna keep saying, it's like, whatever you guys get, just make sure, just come to the Midwest, come up this way, because we like this kind of stuff, and it's always fun to see you guys play live.
Yeah, we want to, man.
Yeah, we got this show in Atlanta, like you said, like literally the day after Louder Than Life, right?
Yeah, we play Louder Than Life on Saturday, and then we're in Atlanta on Sunday with Bless the Fall. So which they're also playing Louder Than Life, so that's that'll be cool.
So everyone's got choices to make at Louder Than Life. Everyone that's going does, but one choice you should make is joining me and seeing Woe Is Me on Saturday, you would be pretty disappointed if you missed it. Trust me on that.
Yeah, we're going to do our best not to throw our backs out.
Yep.
I'm going to do my best not to be completely hurt by that time, but I'm pretty sure I'll say the same thing that you guys would. No promises on that.
That works.
Yep. We're good with that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I got one last question before we wrap this up, and this is something I ask every single artist I've been bringing on the podcast for the past 2 years, because it's a way for us as music lovers to get to know more great music that's out there, and for you to get to show off some of the music you love. I'm going to limit it to 3 total, because otherwise we could be here all day. But between the two of you guys, can you give me 3 bands or artists that you love that you would love to see more people get into right now?
Ooh, let's see.
Sleep Theory.
Yeah, Sleep Theory. That's a good one. Yeah, which they're coming up, like they're doing their thing.
They are.
Like,
Yeah.
they're killing it. But
really
yeah,
are.
like they I think they could use some more love. God, I'm trying to think. What have I been listening to? Dude, I hate to say it, but like I've been listening to so much country, so it's just like I don't know.
Hey, even if it's country, plug what you got.
I'll say oh my God. I don't know. I'll say Dylan Marlowe. Because I loved his most recent album that he put out, and he's actually featured on Bill Murray's album. So he's kind of crossed over into like the metal world a little bit, but like it is country, but it's like it's rocking, like it's going. So Dylan Marlowe, he's a solid ass country singer, and but it's not. Yeah, he's got some really good songs, and some of them are, I wouldn't say heavy, but like they're moving.
There's a little crossover action.
Got a third one?
Man,
I would say maybe Treaty Oak Revival, because I've been listening to them a lot. Treaty Oak Revival.
Yeah.
They're really sick. But I don't know, maybe I would say maybe even like one band that I just am like, I just think they should be playing like way bigger shows than I think they should be way bigger. For me, I think Broadside should be way bigger. Like,
damn,
that band they write some of the catchiest choruses. Like they have some catchy songs, and like I just can't wrap my head around how they're not massive. And I mean, they're doing great, like they're doing their thing, but like I just think that they should be playing like 5,000-6,000 cap rooms a night.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think those are some great picks, and you still gave me 4 instead of 3, but who gives a shit about the rules? We get more great new music to find out about. So thank you guys for those suggestions. And to wrap this up, I want to thank you guys for joining us on the Chord Progression Podcast today. I've been trying to get this going. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and it did not disappoint. So we're going to end this with 3 things. First things first. So everyone out there, Woe Is Me is their brand new album, Daybreak, coming out on August 22nd. And you're going to want to get ready to listen to it because, oh my God, if you just went through this whole episode and you're not amped up about it, you might want to go and get a CAT scan because you might have taken too many chair shots to the head from Dwayne The Rock Johnson back in the day. But to make sure you're following along with Woe Is Me, go script from the podcast where it says find Woe Is Me online. Links and labels are there for everything social media wise, where you can watch, music videos, where you can find the album on release day, where you can go see and play live, and where you can go get some merch as well to help support them because, well, come on. This is a good time. You got to support the guys, don't you? Yes, you do. Now it's time for number 2. Whenever I've guests on the podcast, I enjoy the podcast, I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say thank you. I appreciate you taking the time, and I wish to continue to support you in the future. I've seen you guys play twice. I get to see you at Louder Than Life. Maybe we can make this happen at Louder Than Life, but I know it's a festival. It's always kind of a weird time, but if not, the next time I get to see you guys play live, I will come and find you. I will come and say hello to you, but the real promise is first round's on me, whatever it is. Even if it's like a celebratory glass of milk like the Indy 500, it's on me.
Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Well, yeah, like we'll definitely have to link up at Louder Than Life. We can. I'm sure we can make time. So
we'll make it happen, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll just message you one of you guys from the Chord Progression Podcast pages, and we'll take it from there. How about that?
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a good idea, good plan to me.
Hell yeah, perfect. And now it's time for number 3. We cannot end this by saying goodbye. That is way too foul because I enjoyed having you guys on the podcast talking about the music of Woe Is Me so much. I made you a promise I get to see you at Louder Than Life later in September, and I would love to bring you guys back on, especially with no more new music in the works. When that comes out, would love to talk about it with you guys again. So goodbye is way too final. This is, I'll see you later.
Sounds good, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Later.
Woo! Well, folks, this is my interview with Michael and Hance from Woe Is Me. Now it's time for Kevin's final thought. I have been anticipating being able to do this episode for quite some time. When they announced the brand new album coming out, I'm like, I got to get this. I got to make this happen. And thank you so much, Sean O'Donnell. You are an absolute gem. You've been a gem ever since I started doing these interviews. So I want to thank you so much for that. When it comes to Woe Is Me, though, it makes sense that, when it comes to writing music, it's like, what is this going to be like? What are they going to become? Especially, they don't want to redo numbers like they did back in 2010. They don't want to become the band that just tries to recapture everything and redo the same thing over and over again and just create watered down versions of what used to be great, basically. But by taking the time to really discover where they wanted to put this sound and what they wanted to do with it, you got a more dynamic sound. I mean, take a listen to the singles. Here's to Me kind of encompasses everything Woe Is Me has done and what Woe Is Me is going to do on Daybreak. Devil in My Head, we dove deep into that one, and we see the differences in what really connects there. But then, they got me excited to hear Borrowed Time, Hell House, Bedtime Stories, to see the absolute depth and length that they go to in terms of not only hitting you emotionally, but what their sound is going to be. This record is going to be awesome. This band is something that, I just, for some reason, have been so oddly connected into, especially when it comes to listening to music over the past couple of years. And I can't wait for this to come out and then see it live at Louder Than Life. Make sure you're there too if you're going to that show because, it's going to be a good time. Find me in the pit, baby. I want to thank Michael and Hance for coming to the podcast. Hey, when it comes to Woe Is Me, go script for the podcast or just find Woe Is Me online. Links for everything are going to be down there for where you can make sure to find them. Go see a show, get some merch, and of course, listen and stream Daybreak when it comes out. Please also follow along with us at the Chord Progression Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, links in the description below as well. Hit subscribe if you're on YouTube right down here. Hit the like button right down here to help push this video on the algorithm. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit that subscribe or follow button and like the episodes as well to help push from the algorithm as well. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Hance. We'll see you at Louder Than Life. Great job on this one, boys. On that note, that's going to be me. Thank you very much for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. That was a big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!